What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Take 3 podcast. We're here. Week 13 is upon us. The NFL season is moving so fast. We're literally getting into the final stretch, right, where teams are going to be getting bounced from the playoffs. You're going to see teams getting clinching playoffs. One seeds are at stake. It's a lot of stuff going on as we enter the backstretch. NFC wildcard picture is interesting. Both sides of the wildcard picture is interesting. A lot of teams in hand. Teams that we didn't even think were going to be in the playoff picture entering this. Looking at this slate, though, I mean, it's probably the best week in a while as you sit here and look at it. I mean, Buffalo, New England. Buffalo's look shaky. Von Miller won't play. Josh Allen with the elbow going into New England. That's a big one. Only 4.5-point favorites. Think it might even be down to 4. Division games are always played tougher. Then you get into Sunday. The Jets with Mike White, they looked reinvigorated. Obviously, they played a beat down Bears team with no Justin Fields, but they still got a dub. They looked like a good football team. He was slinging the ball around. They go to Minnesota. Minnesota last week, Thanksgiving night, got back on track. They're still in play for the NFC 1 seed. They got a lot going on. Washington and the Giants, both wild card teams right now. They're going to beat each other up. Tennessee, Philadelphia, straight going down. It's weird. This isn't a competitive game, but when I looked at the line, Seattle going to LA is 9.5-point favorites is hilarious. Something I never would have saw 2 months ago, even a month ago. That's crazy. But screw them two team. Well, Seattle, don't screw them. They're looking good. Tough loss last week. Miami and San Fran, though, you get Mike McDaniel going back to play Kyle Shanahan. That should be some play calling. I mean, if you're looking for offensive play calling, that's a game that you're going to want to tune into and dial yourself in. We get AFC title game rematch. Kansas City at Cincinnati should be good. The Chargers play. I mean, it's pretty loaded. It sucks that Indianapolis and Dallas is the Sunday night football game. How the hell did that happen? I guess if you have a star on your helmet and your Jerry Jones runs it, he's in some tight water. Won't even get into that. But yeah, what do you make of week 13, dude? It's literally probably one of the better slates of games that we have on the docket in this NFL season.
Yeah, this is a week the NFL did correctly for the most part. Very excited for a lot of these matchups. Should be a great week. But you already kind of nailed it when I say the most part. Like, how did we not get Kansas City and Cincinnati flexed into Sunday night? Real shame. Or even Miami at San Francisco. Shame is going to be Indianapolis at Dallas, but we'll get over it. Fantastic slate of football games. Very excited for this Sunday.
I'm saying very competitive stuff on the docket. Let's jump into the first game. It's only right? You have a division matchup Thursday night football. I don't think we've had decent Thursday night football in a while. We've kind of skipped out on a lot of Thursday nights in this recent stretch of through these weeks. But you got the Bills, Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, and those guys going in to New England to take on the Patriots. 4-point favorites. Mac Jones, obviously the running game. Bill Belichick's going to look to use the running game, use the defense, and find ways to confuse Josh Allen. Josh Allen's been super turnover happy this year, as good as he is, man. I don't know if it's the elbow. It's just you kind of see that decision making is all over the place. I believe he has 14 turnovers this year. Like, it's just when you think of him, right, it's kind of back to that rookie year stuff. Obviously, he's levels above where he was in that rookie year, but he's turning the ball over at a rapid rate, maybe trying to do too much. He still has Stephon Diggs out there. The run game's looked a little bit better with Devin Singletary, though, coming up these past couple weeks. I mean, what do you make? Division games are always tough. Bills at the Patriots Thursday night football.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. And they both get full weeks of rest. Both of them played on Thanksgiving, so it's not like one's on a short week. And I really like the Patriots here. I feel really good about Pats +4 to cover. I don't know if I love them to straight up win the game because the Bills are so dangerous. But, I mean, the Patriots defense has been phenomenal. And Mac Jones had a great week last week. They've already shown that they can run the ball really well. Buffalo's can be run on, and now Von Miller's hurt. Like, I like this spot for New England quite a bit. And to the Buffalo Bills point, I want to speak on the Josh Allen point and like the turnovers, because like you brought that up, and it's a really good point, and it makes me think of like how important was Brian Dable to that coaching staff and Josh Allen. And I do feel confident in crediting Brian Dable with part of Josh Allen's success and like really reducing the turnovers, because we've seen what he's done with the New York Giants and Daniel Jones. And we see it's a perfect example of how important great coaching is. And Brian Dable's a great coach and he's doing a great job. And it does bring Josh Allen's play as of late does bring me some concerns. It's like the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They keep doing well, but they still blow it. It's like, yeah, the Bills are like they won last week, but Josh Allen keeps giving the ball up. He's throwing costly interceptions in multiple games this year. And it does make me think, like, how important was Brian Dable to this offense? Obviously, they're still a very good team. They can still when the Bills are really humming, they are phenomenal. But like when they're not, it can be rough. And like they're going into New England. I already highlighted why I like New England. It's just I think this is a really good spot for the Patriots. The Patriots need to win to keep pace for a wild card spot in this very competitive AFC East. And like I don't know, Josh Allen's been hurt. He's been turning the ball over more. It's starting to make me think like, was Brian Dable a big reason why the turnovers were cut down? Because like he was calling the plays and he knows what Josh Allen can and can't do. And now that it's not Brian Dable, it's just sometimes the turnovers feel like Josh Allen just trying to make a play and trying to do a little too much. And I think Brian Dable did a really good job of dialing that back because Josh Allen is so big, so talented, and like he knows he can make big plays almost at any time on the field. But it was kind of a Carson Wentz thing. We saw that with him. I know, tough comparison, right? But like we saw that when Carson was playing really, really well, like 5 years ago. And like after that, when he wasn't playing really well, he was constantly trying to get big plays. And sometimes I feel like Josh Allen does that. Obviously, not to the extent that Carson would, but like it just makes me think how important was Brian Dable. But I like the Patriots a lot here. Patriots +4.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I like the Patriots. I mean, I don't think they'll win, but I think it'll be a grindier game than many people will imagine, right? You'll think the Bills coming in, Josh Allen. I don't know. He'll want to look to just blow the cover off the Patriots, and I don't think the Patriots team with Bill Belichick and that defense is a team that he's going to blow the cover off of. They're going to miss Von Miller. It'll be interesting to see how they attack the quarterback. Can they get the Mac Jones? Can they create sacks? Ed Oliver's good. Gregory Rousseau's pretty good, but I do worry about the pass rush when you bring in a guy and give Von Miller that much money to get to the quarterback and then he's out with a knee injury. How will your pass rush look? I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be pretty. Josh Allen's obviously hurt. Yeah, I mean, it's concerning. He tries to do a lot of hero ball, and maybe Brian Dable was the dude that said, "Hey, don't be a dumbass. Like just be yourself," right? Because there is a lot of plays this year where it's like he tries to get out of the confines of the game and just try to do way too much. I mean, we saw a little bit of Patrick Mahomes doing it last year when the Chiefs struggled throughout that stretched open year where these guys, they're so good and they kind of get ahead of themselves and they forget the basics. They try to do way too much outside of the confines of the game, and you just watch the turnovers rack up. But I mean, compounding that with the elbow injury, yeah, I mean, I think you will see a turnover or two out of him. But yeah, I mean, I like Bills by 2. I think it'll be close game. I like the Bills still to win, but I definitely like the Patriots are at +4. Hopefully it stays there too, right? Like right above that field goal. They can even lose by a field goal, and I'm sitting happy. But yeah, I expect Belichick's defense to be ready to go. Mac Jones did look good last week as well. Patriots keep it close, but lose in the end, at least I think.
Yeah, it feels like a field goal game. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets bet down to 3 by Thursday. I wouldn't take New England if it's 3, even 3 or less. It's like it's got to be 3.5 or more.
Yep. Yeah, you got to have that field goal safety blanket if you're yeah, for sure, I would say. Will be interesting though. Josh Allen, I mean, the Bills they looked like a force, like clear cut better than everybody. Josh Allen, but this is even before injury. They kind of started to get shaky, then he gets hurt, and now it's like, I don't know. Yeah, and the Chiefs, they continue to surge. It'll be it's trying times, as we mentioned, like a week. I think it was either last week or the week before, when there's pressure on the Buffalo Bills to perform, and we're kind of are we seeing how Josh Allen and that staff how they handle pressure as it continues to mount with the real expectations. I think we even mentioned it going into the season. How will they look with real expectations for the first time in years in Buffalo? So let's keep it moving. Another team in the AFC East who's kind of just waiting in the wings. The 7-4 Jets go on the road to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins, 1:00 slate. They're getting the Vikings are only getting the standard home field 3 points against Mike White. Is like Vegas saying Mike White's that guy. They trust that defense with Sauce Gardner. I'm excited. Sauce Gardner, hopefully he matches up with Justin Jefferson. Like I want to see how that plays out. See how one of the league's best rookie, probably the best rookie corner outside of Tariq Woolen in Seattle. One of the league's best young defenders takes on arguably one of the best, probably top 2-3 wide receiver in football right now, in Justin Jefferson. He's ridiculous how that works out. Will Mike White still have magic in the bottle left over from last week? It's a big spot for the Jets, big spot for the Vikings too. They still want to stay in the race for the 1 seed with the Eagles in the NFC, right? It's big to them to not have to travel to Philly if they potentially do have a NFC title game, another one on the road. So, I mean, what do you make Jets at Vikings? Did the Vikings have enough lightning in the bottle to keep it going on back-to-back weeks? Will the defense shut down Kirk Cousins, and will Mike White, can he play turnover free again?
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting matchup. It's kind of wild that it's only 3 points. It's in Minnesota. I think you pretty much nailed it. Like, can we get a clean game from Mike White. And then the Sauce Gardner, Justin Jefferson matchup feels like it's going to determine the game. Because like if Sauce Gardner gets the best, let's assume he covers him the whole game and he gets the best of him. I have a hard time seeing Minnesota score enough points. But with all that being said, I like Minnesota here. They only have to win by a field goal. It was the same thing last week. They were only getting 3 points against New England. And obviously that was a really good game. Came down to the wire. It was close. But like I like Minnesota here. They're one of the best teams in the league. They have a phenomenal offense. But like it's a real test. The Jets on the road. If the Jets get this, if they go into Minnesota and win this game, like it's going to be really telling. If Mike White has another 300-yard week, like it's going to be really telling. It's just there's a lot of question marks with the Jets simply because of the quarterback position. I expect the defense to go in there, ball out, keep it a close game. But I'm just curious to see if Mike White can do it back-to-back weeks. And because I don't have a big enough sample size, I don't feel confident rolling with the New York Jets here. I got to stick with the Minnesota Vikings. But like I think this would be a damn close game. And like all eyes are on Sauce Gardner or Justin Jefferson to me.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. There's not enough Mike White. Yeah, there's not enough Mike White tape to say, yeah, will he be able with this game if the defense doesn't show up? Will he be able to win a shootout against Kirk Cousins? Will he be able to hang with, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, TJ Hawkinson, Adam Thielen's probably out there, KJ Osborne. Like I just don't know. I will be locked in to see how Sauce Gardner hangs up on Justin Jefferson. Hopefully we get that matchup and Salah's not on that bullshit and puts him on Adam Thielen or like, I mean, I want to see the two best guys in the league go head to head, right? Or like two of the top five. Like that's a solid matchup with those two going head to head. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't have enough of Mike White data, right? I mean, everything tells me that the Vikings at home, they're still playing to stay in there for the 1 seed, should take care of business, but it's a little dicey when they're only getting 3, right? It's like, what does Vegas know that we don't know? But yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking the Vikings. They should get the job done. Just don't have enough Mike White data, and I'm not going to roll off like a hot week last week off facing a Trevor Siemian team to really like sit there and judge my pick. Be like, yeah, you beat Trevor Siemian, you played clean football against them. Like, can we really, as you said, bet on that happening in back-to-back weeks? I don't think so. I mean, I think they'll play hard, right? It's kind of Saleh has that kind of team rolling in the right direction where he wants them. But I'm going to take the Vikings. They feel just like the safer pick out of this game, right? For sure. I think they get the job done. I don't know if they won't blow the cover off, but I think they should win. I don't know, touchdown, right?
I'll say this for the people that are leaning Jets. The whole public is probably going to look at this game and be like, Minnesota only 3 points against the Jets at home. So, like, I don't know. Whenever the public feels really good about something, that always kind of makes you a little nervous. But, like, it's just not enough sample size for the Jets to where you could pick them with confidence.
Mm-hmm. And can they get some running game going, right? It's weird. Michael Carter didn't really handle the rock as much last week, right? What is the run game if they can they transition to something like that where the game's not completely on Mike White's arm for another week as it was last week? They literally let him air it out like there was no tomorrow against the Bears. Will they want to do that on the road in Minnesota? But yep, we'll see. Let's move on. Later in the afternoon, this is a doozy. Mike McDaniel obviously goes and faces Kyle Shanahan in San Fran. San Fran's 4-point favorites. As I mentioned at the top, man, if you're looking for offensive play calling, right, like this is probably the game. You got Tua, you got Waddle, you got Tyreek, Jeff Wilson in the backfield going back to play. He's going back to play the former team. So you get the former coach with the running back going back. There's just so many storylines. Obviously, the 49ers defense looks pretty damn good. They completely shut down the Saints last week. As you said in last week's recap, you thought the Saints would at least score a touchdown. I didn't think they'd get shut out as well. But credit to the Niners defense. Fred Warner, absolute stud at the linebacker position. And then, yeah, I mean, the 49ers are just doing enough on offense with Jimmy G. He's playing clean football. Christian McCaffrey's getting in there. Nothing much last week. Debo's out there. Ayuk. So, I mean, this is really, if you're looking for play calling, pre-snap motion, everything's going to be on the table offensively in this game, I think. What are you looking at when the Dolphins head out to the 49ers, head out to San Fran to take on the 49ers late slate Sunday?
Yeah, I absolutely love this matchup. Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan. I think we're going to see a lot of like the what we expect from them, the zone reads, the runs. And it's like, I'm just so excited to see this offensive matchup. There's weapons on both sides, the defenses. I think the Niners have a much better defense than the Dolphins, but the Dolphins defense is still a good defense. I think this is going to be a close game. I love Miami +4 here because 4 is one too many points in my opinion. And like Miami could easily just straight up win this game. And the fact that they're getting 4 points is kind of wild to me. Tyreek Hill has shown he's probably the best receiver in the league, just like his effect he's had on an offense offense has been incredible because I think we kind of discredited it a little bit in Kansas City just because of how good Patrick Mahomes is. And here he goes with Tua. Tua can underthrow the ball and Tyreek will still get it and go for it. So it's like, I'm just so excited to see these two offenses go at it. And honestly, I think it's going to be more of a shootout. Like, not to discredit these defenses and especially the Niners defense after what they did last week. They've been phenomenal. They'll be at home. They'll be ready to play. But it's just, I think Mike McDaniel just knows exactly how to draw up his offense for his guys. Like, he has such speedy receivers. Tua can get him the ball. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I'm right in Dolphins +4. I just think it's too many points. I think they can straight up win. I'm very excited to see it. And if I had to pick a quarterback to make a mistake, I'm going to pick Jimmy G to make a mistake over Tua. So I like Miami a lot here.
Yeah, I'm the other way around. I don't know. It's hard for me to ride with teams that are going across the country. I'm usually like weary when I'm taking a team that's going from Miami all the way out west across the country, playing it. I mean, it could have no effect on the game. No Teron Armstead's out there for the Dolphins as well. So, I mean, I like the 49ers pass rush. I think they'll be able to get after Tua just enough to make up for that, make up for the corners, right? The corners are a little weak on the back end for the 49ers. So, I mean, that's always a worry when you got guys like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill rolling around out there. But I think the pass rush, the defense has been good enough. D'Amico Ryans has his guys going, and I think Jimmy G, they'll play a clean game, and I think the mentor beats the pupil, right? I don't think it'll be a blowout. I don't know. I like 7 points. I feel like I'm weary of teams going across the country. It always scares me. Even at 4, I'm going to roll with the Niners. I think it's going to be, but I'm not selling any Dolphins, right? I think it'll be a week where if the Dolphins, like, they look bad or Tua has a couple turnovers, like, people will be like, oh shit, the Dolphins, like, they're not that team, dude. They get shut down. Like, I'm not selling any Dolphins stock at all. I like what they have going. I just think it's 1 week. No Teron Armstead going across the country. 49ers defense looked damn good at home last week, and I think they'll be enough. They'll handle. Kyle Shanahan gets one over his pupil and keeps it going. I think Jimmy G will play clean, and yeah, they just won't have him do too much.
You know what's funny about this matchup is like they play on like opposite sides of the country, like you said, AFC, NFC, and they haven't really played recently. And these are two different teams from like the last time they played, whenever that was. But like it feels like these teams know each other simply because of like some personnel that's gone between both teams and then the coaching staffs. Like it's weird to say because they don't really know each other, but it feels like it. So it's like I'm just really excited for this game. I think it's going to be a real good one.
Yeah, I think you got to potentially see some gadget plays. As I said, it's an offensive, like, if you like offense, like, I think you lock into this, right? You're going to see stuff that a lot of teams in the league don't do. And it's probably why these two teams are where they are this year, right? Right in the thick of the playoff picture. The 49ers, one of, I'd say, the top 3 teams in the NFC. And then you get the Dolphins. They're right up there, maybe a tier below like the Chiefs, but they're right up there, just a notch. I mean, I'd say they're right competitive with the Bills. They beat the Bills,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, you look at the offense, it's an offensive, if you love, I keep saying, if you love offense, you'll love this game with the way these coaches, McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan, run the show. It just sucks Trey Lance isn't out there, right? Because that would just add another dimension to the 49ers offense. And then you also, yeah, I mean, you have to watch Jimmy G kind of got the knee rolled up on a little bit last week. He'll be good to go. But yeah, I'm trusting the 49ers defense to keep the momentum rolling at home, and Kyle Shanahan not wanting to lose a home game to his pupil that he sent down to Miami. Should be fun though. It should be some great offense. Let's move on. Last game on the slate that we are going to talk about: Chiefs at the Bengals, AFC title game rematch. Obviously the Chiefs, I mean, they're just looking, they're that damn good. They find a way to cover for us. Even at 14.5 last week, I was like, I don't know, like, will they stop throwing? Will they hold up? Now they do just enough cover that. They're 2-point favorites going into Kansas City. Obviously the Bengals last week coming off a big win against the Titans, 20-16. So they're right in the thick of it. They're starting to hit their stride, right? Jamar Chase should be back. He was linked to possibly be back last week against the Titans, didn't make it. He seems on track to go this week. Joe Mixon should be back from the concussion as well. So the Bengals are getting weapons back at home. Chiefs rolling in, though. We know what the Chiefs bring to the table. I mean, you give them any amount of time, they find a way to score. Travis Kelce, Mahomes connections legitimate. Isaiah Pacheco out of the backfield kind of seems like it's gave them a little bit of a run game, right? A little bit of consistency out of that backfield. So, I mean, what do you make? It's an AFC title game rematch. I mean, I think the Chiefs want this one bad, right? They want to right the wrongs from last year. Like, they're probably, you go back and you play that, they're probably pissed looking at that tape from that AFC title game last year.
Yeah, I'm going to just piggyback off your last point because, like, I think you nailed it there. I think this is going to be a really great game. I expect Jamar Chase to be back for this game. He started practicing last week. He was questionable all week for the Titans. I never thought he was going to play against the Titans. I think he's coming back this week. And you already said Joe Mixon's coming back. So I think it's going to be a really fun matchup. But I think the Chiefs are going to be, like, really ready to play because of the AFC game last year. I still think the Chiefs are a better football team just all around. I love Joe Burrow in this offense. But the thing is, like, I don't expect Jamar Chase to come in here and do what he did to him last year. He's coming off an injury. I think it's going to be more of a slower game for Jamar Chase. I don't expect a big game out of Jamar Chase. And to me, when he's out there, he does a lot for the offense. But if he's not really humming, I don't know how effective he's really going to be. And I could be completely wrong. He could be ready to go and sling it out there. It's just hard to come off a long layoff, and now you're coming off like a really high stakes game with the Chiefs and a chance to, I think, to take the division lead because now they're tied with Baltimore. So like a lot's at stake for Cincinnati. Man, I never want to pick against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And I feel like they have extra motivation. As you mentioned from the AFC Championship game this year, they have clearly been the better football team this season comparatively. And like as high as I am on Cincinnati, and I picked them at the beginning of the year, like I like the Chiefs here, win by at least a field goal. It just feels like one of those spots. And like I think the Bengals will take a week or two with Jamar Chase back to round back into form.
Yep. I mean, when I look at this game, I see, if I had to look into a crystal ball, I see 27-24, Chiefs win. Patrick Mahomes just finds a way to get it done. I don't know. I just think they really want that one back from last year, right? They were that close to going to the Super Bowl, playing the Rams in the Super Bowl. They realized opportunity at home was wasted. And I think they're going to want to come back and get this one for sure. And I can trust Patrick Mahomes just a notch more than Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow, I mean, he's been great this past that 3-game win streak, but I think he will turn one over. I don't know, maybe force a ball to Jamar Chase. I don't know. I mean, hopefully he doesn't. T. Higgins has looked that damn good, but it's like you get Jamar Chase back. It's like, are they gonna, focus on him, fire to the new toy when you get him back too much instead of letting T. Higgins do what he's done? And he's looked damn good this year. And how many touches will Joe Mixon get? I need some Mixon touches fantasy wise, but I don't know. It's just, it's a tough spot. It's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, as you said. When I can get them less than a field goal, it's damn near you're picking them to win, right? Like I see 27-24, fun game, guys flying around, Travis Kelce doing his thing, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. But I like the Chiefs just to edge it and get that game back. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully we get the game again, a rematch in the playoffs, right? I think it'd be good. You get Jamar Chase, right? He'll be healthier than he was entering this game. If they did rematch in the postseason, and then we'll get to see it again, right? See where both these teams are down the line. But I do like the Chiefs just to edge it out, just because of Mahomes and Reed, right? They're just that special as a duo.
And the thing with the AFC right now is like I think all year it was like, oh, Buffalo and Kansas City, Buffalo and Kansas City. Buffalo's fallen off, right? They haven't looked that good. And now to me, it feels like, well, who is the second best team in the AFC? Is it Cincinnati? Is it Buffalo? Is it Miami? It feels like it's one of those three teams. And like, well, there's a perfect opportunity for Cincinnati at home to say, no, it's us. We're the team to beat. So I don't know. It's gonna be a really, really fun game. I just think timing wise for Cincinnati because Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase coming back. I think timing wise, this game's not great for Cincinnati. But once again, I wouldn't lose. Like no matter how this game goes, I still believe in Cincinnati in the long run. But like it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. Like and especially only 2 points. How many times you get Mahomes only has to win by 2 points to cover the spread? Like got to take it.
That's what I'm saying for sure. So obviously I don't have a spread pick slide. We're going to drop our spread picks for week 13 on Twitter, probably Thursday afternoon prior to Thursday night football kickoff. But I mean, any other games, there's so many games you could talk about, Titans, Eagles, any other games on this slate that kind of catch your eyes before we kind of, close this thing up. We don't want to talk. I mean, you could almost talk about 6, 7, 8 games on this slate. That's how good week 13 is. But any other games real quick. And then, as I said, we'll drop our spread picks on Twitter Thursday afternoon prior to Buffalo and New England kicking off.
Titans Eagles for sure. I said in the recap episode that I just need AJ Brown to be a little bit better, a little more consistent. Well, now's a perfect week to start against your former team. I feel like AJ Brown could have a really big game in this spot. And then Commanders Giants, right? All of a sudden it's like the battle for third place and like maybe the wild card because I doubt all 4 teams make it. I'm pretty confident 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4 for sure, maybe 3 out of 4. So it's like this is a pretty big game for the Commanders and Giants. It's in New York. I don't know who I'm picking right now. I think it's going to be pretty dang close, but like my eyes are on that game. And then I just have to mention it. That loser Deshaun Watson's back against the lowly Texans. I hope Houston finds a way to beat Cleveland in Houston. I hope Deshaun Watson's full of rust, has a terrible game, but like for unfortunate circumstances, I do got to keep an eye on that game as well.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I don't think I'll pay. Yeah, I'm not going to pay Deshaun Watson much mind. I mean, the Browns suck. 4-7. Texans are just, they're awful. Yeah, obviously, I'm going to be eyes on the Eagles, right? Hopefully, Derrick Henry doesn't run straight down our throats and just obliterate our dreams. That'd be like similar to the Washington game. Like it could easily happen. It's scary.
Yeah.
5-point favorites, but it's like, dude, Derrick Henry. I mean, all he has to do is just find ways to get 4 yards, and manageable third downs, and it's a long fucking day. But yeah, Giants Commanders obviously super interesting. Both teams 7 wins, looking to take hold of a wild card slot. As I mean, we both agree. I don't think every team in the NFC East will make it, so somebody's got to go, and it's obviously going to be one of those two teams. So I mean, we'll find out Sunday. Better one, and then I'm gonna go two teams with losing records: Jags Lions. It's like a culture game, right? Can the
Yeah.
Jags get 2 wins in a row, and then can Dan Campbell, keep it going? They look damn good. Thanksgiving, obviously they lose another close one, kind of a heartbreaker, but they're playing good football. Dan Campbell is really laying the foundation there as well. I hope that he gets a legitimate shot, right? Jamison Williams, maybe he'll play this year, maybe he won't, but I hope he gets another year or two to really build the program, because I like where he's going. They have them. They're a competitive football team, right? They're not just an absolute walk into Detroit, beat the piss out of them and roll, right? It's not a double bye week when you play the Lions anymore. Dan Campbell, I like his energy, and then Doug Peterson as well. They're looking to have back-to-back W's, look good for back-to-back weeks. But I mean, if that's all you got, man, that's all. That's all I have. That's going to be a wrap for this Week 13 preview. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Drop any feedback below, how we can improve, how we can make this thing smoother. Drop it on Twitter as well at Take3Sports. Spotify link will be in the description as well. If you're an audio only listener, you can go follow us on Spotify. And yeah, we'll be back next week to see where we went wrong in Week 13 and where we went right, and kind of unpack this loaded slate.